Hello, welcome. It is currently Thursday, August 7th, 2025 at 5:04 p.m. In St. Louis, Missouri, I'm Aaron Wills. This is a random rambling video. Along with welcoming you to my channel, allow me to thank you for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe before sharing this video and turning on the post notification bell. I owe you guys at least a decent video after the shit I turned in earlier. I turned in a piece of shit earlier this morning. Kind of phoned it in, really. I'm trying to make this one decent. I don't know what makes any of my videos decent. But for whatever it is, I've been getting a lot of views lately and an influx of subscribers lately. Which will bring me to something that I usually do when I get an influx of subscribers. I want to explain this, where all this comes from, and this back here. And this, of course, right here. I'll tell you in this whole story now. For those of you who are brand new and may wonder what the hell's going on with that. First of all, let me fix my bra strap. I don't want these big old puppies flopping around, hurt somebody. On February 12th in 2008, it was a Tuesday by the by, I suffered a trans-ischemic attack, they call it, or a TIA. It's like a minor stroke. That TIA sent me to the hospital. I went to St. John's Hospital in Creve Coeur, Missouri. It's now called Mercy St. Louis, still in Creve Coeur, Missouri. Same hospital, same place, just a different name. So while in the hospital, St. John's, Mercy, in St. Louis, Missouri, they discovered in my heart a mass. They were first calling it a mass, and they started calling it a tumor. And then they decided whatever it needed to come out. So they went into my heart to get this mass/tumor out of my heart. While they were in there, they realized I needed a double bypass surgery. So they did a CABG, a double bypass on me, while in there getting this mass out of my heart. Recovering from that CABG, that double bypass surgery, I was laying in my hospital room with my grandmother by my side, and I had an itch on my left leg. I dug my right toenail, which I wasn't wearing a sock. I dug my right toenail into my left leg, trying to scratch the itch. I didn't feel anything, so I really dug it in there. And I didn't feel anything still. I told my grandma, I said, "Grandma, I think I'm having another stroke." She said, "Are you, honey?" I said, "Yes." So she ran out to the hall. She ran out of the room to find the first person that looked like a doctor to bring him in. And she found what happened to be the head of anesthesia at the hospital. He was wearing a white coat, so she grabbed him and said, "I think my grandson's having a stroke." So he came in and gave me his two fingers like this and told him in my right hand and told me to squeeze him as hard as I could. So I bared down as hard as I could with my right hand, and he had to pull his fingers away because I was hurting him. Then he did the same thing with my left hand. He put his fingers like this and told me to squeeze as hard as I could with my left hand. He's like, "As hard as you can." And I said, "I am." He said, "As hard as you can." And he goes, "Really right down." So I squeezed as hard as I could, and he said, then he whisked me out of the room, and he said, "I think you're having a stroke." And I was thinking, "See, told you." No, she didn't say that. She was probably thinking that. Anyway, so he whisked me out of the room to go to MRI and CAT scan. And so based on what they saw in the preliminary reading from whatever doctor read it, they called the head of neurology off of vacation to come look at the CAT scan and the MRI. And when he got there, apparently he said, "Is this patient still alive?" They said yes. And he realized that wasn't going to be the case. That wasn't going to be the case very much longer if he didn't do something. So he grabbed a waiver and ran back into my hospital room where my grandmother was waiting for the results of the tests that they were doing on me. And he had this waiver, told her that she had to sign it because they had to perform an emergency cradiotomy. And she's like, "Well, what's that?" Like, "Well, we have to remove part of his skull for a while." And my grandma said, "Remove part of his skull?" And the doctor said yes. And she said she didn't know if he was just some hack doctor or what. So she prayed on it, and then before, she said before God answered her prayer, he kind of answered what she was going to do for him, her. He told her, he goes, I can't guarantee if we do this that he's going to live, but I can guarantee you if we don't do it, he will die. And so she signed the waiver, and they did an emergency craniotomy, which means they cut me down here, as you can see, down the middle of my head, and then down around the side of my head over here, and they took my skull off for a while. They put it in a freezer while I headed off to Missouri Rehab Center in Mount Vernon, Missouri, for a few weeks. And then I came back from them and put it back on. That's called a cranioplasty. And when I put it back on, I hope you can understand a word I'm saying throughout all of this. I was kind of rushing it, trying to get the story in a reasonable amount of time. So they put it back on. That's called a cranioplasty. And when they put it back on, it left this protrusion here and this protrusion back here. And the scars of them cutting the skull off down around here and then around here. All those scars you see, the bumps you see, is what was left from them putting my skull back on. I don't know if it just didn't take right or they didn't put it on correctly, whatever the case. Maybe it always does that when you just go put it back on. Whatever the case, that's what's left. But that's what happened with that, in case you were wondering. I get a lot of, I've had a little influx of viewers, of subscribers lately, and I know a lot of them wonder what the hell happened to my head. And so, that's what happened, that's what the hell happened to my head. I hope you can understand a word I said. Money bread? No. Anyway, that's it. And now that story's over, I'm going to hang it up now after just over 7 minutes. I'm going to tell you 2 fingers, 8 Up Club. See you when I see ya. Pizza rolls. See ya, see ya, see ya. Peace.